All right, we're live. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fishy Hour. It's Wednesday, and it's Bay Fishing with Roman and Brian. I'm gonna bring Brian onto the show. Let's go split screen with Brian. Oh, where are you? Where are you, my split screen? Split screen. What's up, Brian? How you doing?
What's up, Roman? What's up, guys? Wednesday, Bay Fishing.
Awesome. I'm excited. I'm ready for it.
I want to make my adjustment here. Awesome. So this week, guys, I'm going to be able to read chat. So I'll see what's in your chat this week.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. So let's wait. Let's hang out a little bit. Wait for people to start to fill in the chat room. You might have to mute your stream or actually pause it. Yeah, pause the actual stream, and that way you can get a better upload speed. Let's see who's in the chat. I see Cave Dog in the house. Cal's first. Coach Worf in the house. Looking forward to this one. I'm always open to learning, Coach. I'm always pick up something that's good takeaways, no doubt. Cool. Showtime in 10 minutes. Oh, I see Brian in there. Oh, you're chatting and you're streaming. What?
Yeah. Trying to hype myself up.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. Cool. Okay. Yep. I see you guys in there. Okay, the chat. Nightbot just woke up. Nightbot doesn't talk to you guys until the stream actually starts, guys. So that's good. All right. Sweet. Okay. Good. Oh, I need to reset the beer count for Nightbot. But good. Okay. Basically, I'm just stalling because I'm letting the music play out, Brian. So the music's almost over. Sorry you can't hear it, but
it's okay.
Is your drink ready?
Drink is ready.
Let's get this. Hashtag not sponsored.
Get this rolling. Ooh, it's sweaty.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be cold.
Okay. You got to guess where my mic is at. It's right here now. If you can see where it's at, it's literally right here. So I'm going to take this thing up here. You ready? Come on. I hope I don't choke.
Ooh, that was good.
Really? It sounded good on my end.
That was super good.
Maybe this will be my week. I'll get above the 4.
Let's see what the chat says.
11, Jet. Nice.
There you go.
All right. Finally.
15? Kevin give you a 15? What? The echo.
I didn't know it that high.
It's all.
I think 15 is the highest of all time.
It is. Oh, damn.
Maybe I got this huge room on me, and maybe it creates that reverberation. It sounds like, I don't know. Gives it that awesome live sound.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
So you're.
Look at the scores.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what's going on with the resolution of the stream. Let me try something different. Can we go different?
Hopefully my end's low because I like my resolution low.
Yeah, it's like super low, but it's like uncomfortably low. Like, oh, there you go. Starting to clear up. Oops.
Okay. Well,
yeah, there you go. Starting to clear up. Okay, cool.
Okay, let me know if it starts getting bad, and I'll make some adjustments on my end.
All right. No, it looks good. So, well, it's looking better actually. Okay. Here goes my chart. I'm not gonna crank up the mic too much. I'm just gonna crank a little bit. Here we go. There we go.
Oh my god.
I don't know about that.
How can you compete with that?
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm gonna go out and buy that exact soda. There's something about that one. It's got
that
sweet,
super cold.
Sweet sound to it.
An 8. Boo.
What?
A 9. Kevin gave you a 16 and he gave me a 9.
Right on.
It's that mic. It's that video mic.
Yeah. All these upgrades I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Kevin said it was the echo. It was the echo that helped you.
It was the echo that helped?
Yep.
All right.
That's awesome. That's cool. Oh, 9.9 from Leonard. Nice. All right. It's
Wednesday.
Wednesday, guys. Let's I'm gonna put the phone number up on the screen, and you guys can call in with your science project reports. We're gonna do them really quick.
Yeah, so we're not gonna spend a whole lot of time this week on the science project. Just kind of getting getting our statistics in, your guys' results for the weekend. So the way I like to usually start this is I'll go with my results. So we fished Saturday with mainly live bait though. So I didn't get a lot of science work, I guess, in. I was still able to catch some spotties that day, but Saturday was an awesome day. We fished with bait. I don't know if you went over a lot of it, but we caught a lot of stingrays, we caught a lot of sharks, we caught a lot of fish that we don't normally catch, which was cool because I was trying to target that big leopard shark and I never got it. I got a smoothhound shark, ended up being a 26-incher, which in the shark world is not very big, but whatever. We landed a shark, right? We went out there, we accomplished what we were trying to do, and we had a good time doing it. For me, that's a once-a-year thing, though. It's kind of that South Bay is kind of windy.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no shade.
Like white cabin.
There's no structure. It's just like, I guess there's some pylons out there, but it feels like you're like in the, I don't know, the desert, just flat water, nothing to look at. You're just kind of out there. And for me to find fish, I was like zigzagging back and forth and doing circles and trying to find something on the bottom, but it's really flat in that South Bay, and it gets shallow super quick. Like when we were coming out that jetty, if you went out to the left, it went from like 20 feet to like 4 feet to like 2 to 1 feet, like instantly. So
that's true.
I was pretty nervous on my boat because I was coming in kind of hot, and I was looking at that fish finder and went 24-2. And I'm like, uh-oh, I don't want to drive this thing up on the shore here or up on the beach. But yeah, it's a different area over there. So once a year for me. I'm not too much in that South Bay, but if you're targeting stingrays or sharks, I think it's cool over there. But it's a little tougher fishing.
Yeah, that was fun.
What do you think of the South Bay?
It was cool. I enjoyed it. Like I think I was having too much fun with that jet, and I think I didn't even catch a ray. I caught mostly spotties, but I still had a blast. It was super fun.
Yeah, it was cool. I like it when we were first pulling out, and there's like this weird, I don't know, it's a bunch of pylons, and it looks like a dock, but it's like you could drive cars on top of it. And Roman,
that was weird.
Roman like lowered his seat and leaned back and paddled underneath this cave. And you had that motor on it this week.
I was low riding the whole way through.
So I was down on one end, and I could look all the way down this dark tunnel, and I could see him motoring through, and he's like laying down and trying to fish in there. But I'm so curious, does that hold a huge fish with all that shade and all that structure?
I wasn't seeing anything.
I wonder what's down there.
I wasn't seeing anything on the sonar, and I didn't even get a nibble.
No nibble down there?
Yep.
It's probably so polluted in there, they don't like it. No, that water is pretty. Once you kind of like get into that stagnant kind of South Bay area, that water's nasty.
It reminds me of the first time I went into like the La Jolla Coves. I was expecting to go in there and see a bunch of stuff on the floor, but it's like dead. It's barren. Like as soon as you get into the shade, there's nothing there. It's just sand.
Yeah, so South Bay, like I said, once a year for me, just to go over there and try something a little different. But I mainly like fishing, I guess, just north of the bridge.
Yep.
A lot more over there, or just at the bridge.
Cool.
But anyway, so to the science project. So on Saturday, I caught 25 fish. Dang. 13 of them were stingrays, which I couldn't get off those guys. It was like, at one point I had 2 baits in, and I caught 2 at a time. So those stingrays, I don't know if there's gazillions of them down there, or they're just really sensitive to smells and they smell it. But man, there's a lot of them. And they're all about that big. Is there like a natural predator in the bay that eats those? I don't think so. So I think they could the population could probably explode, huh?
Yeah. So that's an interesting thought. Like what eats those?
I don't know, but there's a ton of them out there. Caught my 2 smoothhound sharks and 10 spotted bay bass. So my numbers were, I'm going to bring out the board and call in.
You can call in or you can put it in the chat. So let's see. Cal has got a report.
Call in or put it in the chat. Let's see. I'm going to go on yours first, Cal. It looks like you got 8 calicos.
Yeah, 8 calicos.
And on number 11, it looks like. So 11's hot.
Is that the orange tail?
Did I get that right? 8? Yep, 8. Yeah, the orange tail. I don't know. That one seems to be pretty good during this project. Everybody's choosing it. I think because it's a new color and it's like that
I think
bright.
It does well for the fishermen.
Yeah, you see that bright orange tail, and you're like, oh, that's gonna get bit. So that one's hot. A lot of people chose that one. So what I did was number 10 this week, which is like this clear pink, and number 1, which is the pink. And I only got 1 spotty on this on Saturday, and I got 9 on number 10.
Nice. Did anybody else fish swim baits for the science project this week?
Type it in, call them, just so I can update this, please. Oh, and Sunday I fished too. I fished specifically for the science project on Sunday. So I was out there Sunday. I actually saw Roman out there on Sunday, which looked to me like he was teaching a diving class out there. That was awesome.
That was fun. Well, it's a impromptu get together, friends teaching friends, nothing official. But as you can tell, I was out. My face was out of the water more than I was expecting. So this part is covered by the mask, and this part is covered by the wetsuit, and this part was not. Also have like a Joker face going.
That's like a diver's face, I guess. Yeah. Is that legit? Like when you walk into a grocery store and somebody sees that and they're another diver, do they give you like the thumbs up?
Yeah.
Like that's the mark.
Exactly. That's so funny.
So it looks like Zach came in. Dang, Zach, 15 spotties. Yep. Wow. I remember like a week ago you were like on your very first spotty.
And you're like, oh, how do I catch these spotties?
15 on number 5. Or yeah, number 5. So okay, that's the chartreuse one. Nice, Zach. Dang. Oh, cool. Wow. So
hey, Zach, what size head were you using, or what were you using to put the swim bait on?
Cool to mention about Zach is I was in Turner's buying my squid for the Saturday outing, and I was at the counter talking, and he goes, "Hey, is your name Brian?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I'm Zach." So we got to have a pretty cool. It's funny to run into somebody from MFC that we've never met before, but totally cool guy. He was buying a reel, buying a net, like the exact things I suggested to do. He was there buying bait.
There you go.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool running into Zach there. Super cool dude.
Super. That's good. That was awesome. 3/8 cool baits science.
3/8.
Yep. Tried black,
awesome, yeah.
pink, purple, and light blue. Oh.
3/8. That's my go-to size. So I love the 3/8.
He skunked out on black, pink, purple, and light blue.
Oh. That's good to know.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Huh.
Were you fishing black during the day?
And Zach, where did you fish for your 15 spotties? Was that Mission Bay or was that San Diego Bay? Was that on Saturday with us? Okay, so I fished also on Sunday, solo mission by myself, and I caught 29 fish that day, which is right about what I do. I'm out there all day, so 29 fish. I caught 4 sand bass, 3 calico, and 17 spotties on the wacky colors, and I couldn't resist. I threw out my A-rig and a couple natural colors. I got 5 on those just messing around. So I'm going to update the board. So number 11 I got, which is this bright orange one, I got an additional 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got, on number 10, I got an additional 20. Ooh, this one's loaded up. 1, 2, 3, 4. $20 on that one. And they were all spotties and they were all dinks. I don't think I got one legal on those. And believe it or not, once again, the only legal I got was when I was tossing the natural color. So I don't know. I don't know if that's something I'm going to throw into my conclusion, but it's dink city sometimes with this road. I've noticed the dinks love these. So I didn't do very good on the big guys on these colors so far.
That's super interesting. So let's see. Okay, if anybody else has any reports, put them in the chat, and then we're gonna move into the next assignment for next week.
Yep.
We're getting close to the end of this project, right?
Yeah, so this week, this is going to be like all this week, you guys can send me in on Discord or however you want to get it to me, Roman, your numbers, And this is going to be my last week of wacky colors. Okay, so this coming weekend, I want everybody to switch back to what you normally fish. If you normally fish these, go back to them. But most of us are normally fishing. Can you see the whole board, Roman?
You can hold it in front of you. Like, you can put it like on your knees.
I got it. Okay, so most of us fish these colors, the natural, the match the hatch kind of stuff. So this weekend, I want to go back to this just to see that's going to lead up to our final conclusion. So go back to the naturals. I'm going back to the colors I'm comfortable with, and that's going to come up to my conclusion. So next week, we're going to report on our normal, natural, match the hatch kind of colors.
Cool.
And then that'll be our last. Oh, and the straw. I forgot to mention it. I don't know if you didn't watch last week. I was going to try an in-and-out straw that I kind of modified, and I filled it with scent, hoping that I would get something. Nope, the skunk. I don't think they're that stupid. I only fished it for like 15 minutes, but I actually really tried.
Do you think?
Like I hit it like in a prime time too, and I was like getting a lot of bites.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, now's a good time to try to get one on this thing. Nothing, dude.
Wow.
So I don't think they're that dumb as we thought. I'll still try it. My goal is to get one on this stupid thing.
You put hot sauce in there?
I loaded it with scent. I kind of trimmed it. I fished it just like I do my swim baits, but no, not even a minute.
Once you get the kayak, or like once you get in the water, it's so easy to launch. Okay, that's good.
Dude, and in this heat, man, that's a nice place to be. Oh, speaking of that, you guys know I'm in my garage, right? Check this out. That is the temperature I'm doing this show in. What is this? It's 95 degrees in here. Jeez. So if my face is red, that's why, dude. It is hot in Ramona. Oh, I don't know what it is at your house, but outside it's 105. So inside my garage is 95 degrees. I've got a fan blowing right on my face. So if I pass out, it's because of my heat stroke out here.
Cut to swipe. That's good.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
It's so hot.
Cool. All right. So
one more thing I wanted to show this thing because I updated this. So this is, I didn't put that on there, but this is week 3 and up to date without the stats I just got. This is where we're at. So this one's hot, man. People got 20 fish on that guy, and that's not even including the whatever we just caught on there this week. So this is up to date.
The orange one? Is it the orange one, the hot one?
Yeah, and the purple, 15 fish on that, and that's pretty good.
Nice.
So there's where we're at, guys. Reported we're on this blue. So there we go. Did you participate this week?
I got no. I didn't catch anything.
Nothing on the swim baits.
I know it was a natural one. It was a natural one that I already had tied on there, and I didn't want to move it.
Yeah.
But it got the tail bit off. So anyway, I'm gonna keep fishing the black ones I got until I'm done with them.
The natural color is a crutch, man. You keep going back to it.
I know.
You can't get away from it.
Only because I don't want to waste it by taking it off.
Yeah, that's true. They're 50 cents. You don't want to waste that.
That's true. That's true. So,
unless it's a Z-Man or a Kitech, they're like $1.50.
Yeah, right? So funny. Cool. All right, so the next thing we're gonna go. Can you you know what, Brian? I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I'm gonna check that my family is actually off the stuff that I asked them to be off of, because it looks like the stream is acting up.
Is my stream acting up or yours?
I think both of ours is, but now
because if mine is, I'm gonna turn off all my live chats. Maybe that'll help. I don't know.
No, it should be. The chat should be fine. It's just anything that's streaming the actual video, you should pause. So yeah, give me yeah. Okay, so let's get into the next segment, and while you're talking, I'm gonna do something real quick, and I'll come back while you're still talking. Hopefully, okay.
All right.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys.
So this week, I was going to talk more about gear. So the subject this week is probably a heavily debated subject. I don't know, heavily debated, but remember, when I always talk, I'm coming here and I'm talking about bay fishing. So when I'm specifically talking about gear, it's not for fishing. A little bit of it's inshore in the kelp in La Jolla, but I'm not talking about tuna fishing. I'm not talking about Coronado Islands. I'm talking about it's Bay Wednesday. We're talking about what we're going to use in the bay: calico, sand bass, spotties, halibuts. You know mainly what we're fishing for in the bay. So today, what I want to talk about is This is a heated subject, so if you guys want to put it in the chat, is spinning reels versus bait casting reels. Pros and cons to each one. Why fish one? Why fish the other? What advantages does each one have? So that's the subject for tonight. Okay, so bait casting reel, spinning reel. If you're new to the fishing world, I'm just going to do a basic introduction to this, just in case somebody's watching that doesn't even know the differences between the two before I get into the pros and cons about them. Chat. Sorry, I was watching Roman real quick.
We're good. Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. So spinning reel. If you've never owned one of these guys, a spinning reel looks like this. And there's his bait caster. So a spinning reel.
Sorry, go for it.
A spinning reel. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry. I gotta pause this. I'm watching myself live here.
Oh yeah, you gotta mute it. I mean, you gotta stop it so it doesn't use up your bandwidth.
Oh man, my video quality is terrible, eh?
Yeah, because the bandwidth is getting used up by you actually watching the stream.
Huh? Maybe I should shut all this off, and you can just relay chat to me. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's try it.
Okay, let's try it. I don't want them to watch an hour
of witness protection, Brian.
Yeah. I'd rather just turn it all off. So
especially when we're getting to
I'm
the reels.
not gonna be on my chat, guys. So Roman's gonna have to relay the chat messages to me.
I'm ready.
Just like normal. One more second. Let me turn this guy off.
So I'll do the questions too. I'm seeing the questions, guys. If questions come up as they come up, guys, make sure you precede the question with the capital word question. That way it's easier for me to find them, and I'll relay them to Brian, and I'll put my 2 cents in, and we'll answer your questions together. And if you have an opinion on that topic, you can add it to the chat.
Okay, is that better? Hopefully it cleared up a little.
It'll start to clear up more. It's getting there.
Okay, awesome. So back to this. This is spinning reel, and they're totally two different reels. If you're new to the fishing world, a spinning reel, the actual spool is turned on its side here, versus on a bait caster, it's right here in the middle. And probably the biggest two things about these reels is the way they cast. This one right here, the spinning reel, when you actually cast it, you open up this thing called a bail, and the line basically flies off this spool. It comes off really easy. The line just peels right off the spool. And then to re-engage it, you just flip your bail back over, and you're fishing. On the bait caster, the actual spool itself, when you cast it, the weight of the lure is actually spinning the spool. So the weight of the lure is doing the work of pulling the line off this. So this is actually spinning versus on the spinning reel, this does not spin, it just peels off. And there's a lot of pros and cons to these types of reels. My very favorite setup, which I love to fish the bays, is I love my bait caster. And there's a few reasons. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Pick up the notes here. So with the bait casters, like I said, the line is pulling it off, and this spool is twisting while you're casting. The only big con to this type of reel, if you're new, is there's a thing called backlash or bird's nest. And they're pretty prone to that when you first start out. Versus a spinning reel, if you're a beginner, these don't do that. The line just peels off. They don't get that. So I'm going to go back to spinning reel, actually.
Yeah.
So it's the big day. You're in the store. You're brand new to fishing. You're thinking of buying a reel. The reel, if you're brand new to fishing, the reel I'm probably going to recommend is a spinning reel. And the reason I'm going to do that is because if you're brand new to fishing, you want to concentrate on the fishing. You don't want to constantly be trying to learn how to cast or taking out these snags or taking out the backlashes. So if you're brand new to fishing, I'm going to recommend a spinning reel, mainly just for the casting. And they're super universal. If you go out to the bay, I would say most of the people out there now are probably fishing these, especially the newer guys. And don't just say newer guys, because I fish tons of these. I love spinning reels. One thing these things are really good at is if you're fishing with lightweight. Like me, I'm fishing the 10, 12, 14-foot deep water. So I'm using like a 1/4 ounce or 3/8 ounce head. And these spinning reels are awesome for that. They can cast a lightweight rigs, even if you're just Texas rigged up to a swim bait and it's super light and you're casting into the wind. With these, you can just whip them super hard. You don't have to worry about that backlash. And I like to call them finesse fishing too. So when you go to one of these guys, and I got a 3/8 jig head on here. This is my main setup, guys. This is what I love to fish. It's my Shimano Stratic with the Shimano Zodius pole. I love this setup. This is my finesse setup. Anything that's 3/8, 1/4, 1/8, or Texas rig that's super light, this is my go-to. And one thing you're going to notice once you pick out your reel, if you pick out a spinning rod, when you pick out the rod that matches spinning reels, the major difference between these two is, let me get this around here, is if you look at the guides on a spinning rod, they're down here on the bottom. And they're much larger, like 3-4 times larger than a bait casting rod. A bait casting rod, because the reel sits up on top, you're using your thumb, the line and the guides are up on top of the pole. And I'll go over the advantages and disadvantages of these. But we'll go back to finesse fishing with these spinning reels, these lightweight setup. If you look at the two poles, usually the spinning setups have a much lighter tip. And if you look at the diameter of the poles, these are pretty similar in size and similar reel size, but you get a lot more backbone, a lot thicker pole, I guess you would call it, a lot more backbone out of that than you do a spinning rod. So, but a lot what we do is finesse fishing. So I necessarily don't like all that backbone. With the spinning rod, I don't know if you can see this tip, it's got this little tiny skinny, like, it looks so fragile. It's this little tiny tip. It looks like you're just gonna breathe on it, it's gonna break. But they're actually pretty good. I've only had a few break, and that wasn't by fishing. That was just from me being an idiot and blowing it up in a car window or something. Huh? But the reason they do this tiny, thin tip is so that it's super sensitive. If it's just touching anything on the bottom, you'll feel it all the way down to the reel, this sensitive tip. And that's what you want on these spinning setups. I'm throwing something super light, let's say 1/4 ounce. If I have like a big tuna stick or a big heavy bait casting one, you might not feel everything on the bottom. And I like to feel everything. I want to feel if I'm in grass. I want to feel if I'm in sand. I want to feel if I'm bumping rocks. And this skinny little tip will give that to you. So when you go out fishing for your spinning setup, don't forget to feel that tip. You know, they come in medium, medium light, medium heavy. They come in all these different ratings. I like medium to medium heavy because those spotties fight. They put up a fight, and you want to have that a little bit of backbone to set that hook and also get them up off the bottom if they get wrapped up. But spinning setups come with that sensitive tip. I love that. So that's why that is one of my #1 reasons of fishing is spinning. So I guess cons to the spinning setup is maybe the drag's not as good. The bait casters seem to have a really strong, really good drag that you can adjust on the fly really good. Bait casters, when I get into those, are a little more accurate because you can control it with your thumb. Once you get good at a bait caster, you're casting towards shore, you can use your thumb as a brake mid-air, or you can stop it right before it hits the water. You can do that with a spinning rod, but when you cast it out, I always have a hand like right here for some reason, and if it looks like it's going to fly into the rocks, I just grab this, I can pinch it off, or I slow it down. Once you get pretty good with a spinning rod, you'll learn this technique of just while it's flying, you just grab the line, and that's how you stop it. Yep. That way it doesn't fly out in the middle of no man's land.
Sweet. Brian, I'm gonna jump in for a second.
Yeah, please jump in.
Where's this? There it is. Split screen. Okay, so that's a good overview of the spinning setup. Before we jump into the bait caster setup, let's go over some questions real quick. So let's see.
Is my stream clearing up?
Slightly.
Oh no.
Still a little bit better than before.
Okay.
Okay, Zach's got a question. He says, it seems like a baitcaster gives you more control as well. I would agree with that, yeah.
Definitely, Zach. So the bait caster, but remember, if you're new to fishing, spinning, you're gonna have a lot more fun with that.
Yeah.
And if you're fishing like lightweight, like this setup right here, my bait caster, I like to go with a 1/2 ounce or bigger. Like if you're fishing crankbaits or any of the hard baits, this is totally the way to go. A-rig, totally the way to go. Anything with some weight, 1/2 ounce. I mean, some guys get really good and they cast a 3/8 on this. It also, conditions can make a big difference, Zach. So if you're casting to the wind, these things can be a nightmare. You're casting and you don't feel confident, so maybe you're not throwing it as hard as you would a spinning reel. So conditions make a difference also, which you're going to choose.
Yeah. We'll talk about a little bit more about that next, the backlash and stuff. Let's see. Baker Lounge says Stratic 2500 is the juice. His question is, why do you use a lefty bait caster? I have a few techniques I use a lefty, but a few others I like a righty. And switching hands after casting.
Okay, so awesome question. So cool thing about spinning reels is no matter what you buy, it has this little nut on the side. You can unscrew that, put the handle to make it a lefty or a righty. So you're not stuck when you buy it. If you're gonna, I mean, most people I think fish these lefty. I don't see a lot of people fishing them righty. I don't know if that's just because it's natural, but I know when you buy it, it's set up left. Yeah. So I think that's the common way to fish a spinning. That's the way I do it.
Me too.
But cool thing about spinning, you can do either. You buy it, you got a right and a lefty, so you can switch it out. Versus a bait caster, when you go to buy it, I fish lefty. I don't know. I love lefty just because I feel comfortable. Don't switch hands. I don't know. This is just my comfort zone. It's like when you skateboard and you're goofy foot or right foot.
Yeah.
I'm goofy foot. So
have you ever fished, Brian, have you ever fished with tungsten?
I do. Not very often though, because it's so expensive.
Yeah. So Baker Lounge is saying tungsten weight and sensitive rod is all the feels. Nice.
Yes, tungsten. I don't know if that's the future, but tungsten, yes. You get like a.
Is it heavier than lead? Heavier than lead?
It's more dense. So like if you have, let's say, a 1/4 ounce weight of lead, the tungsten is about half that size.
Perfect.
So the jig head's much smaller, but it's the same weight.
That's cool.
So tungsten, yeah, they're a little more expensive though when you go to buy tungsten. But like if you're using like an egg sinker or something, you get that 1 ounce weight in that small little package, which is nice.
Cool. I used to use the tungsten little bullets.
Yep.
Those are cool. Like
exactly.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yep.
Cool. So while you're getting ready to talk about bait casters, let me tell you guys what I do for my spinning. Why I use spinning rods. So like I personally don't have a preference for bait caster or spinning. I just want what's good for that lure, right? So for my Ned rig stuff, all spinning. Otherwise, it's not heavy enough to pull on the spool. I mean, we'll talk about that in a sec. It's not heavy enough to pull on the, I think, to keep up with the line coming off the spool. So
what weight is your Ned rig?
Whoa.
3/8?
1/5 of an ounce.
Okay.
Yeah, 1/5 of an ounce.
So it's light.
So yeah, it's light. So I use a 2500, and then I also use 1000. So on the 1000, I've been throwing the 1/8 underspin. That's been doing pretty good.
I love fishing the 1000 size.
Yeah, it's good.
You know why? So I don't want to cut you off on your setup.
No, good. That's good. I'm done with that. Go ahead.
You mentioned size. I wanted to talk about size. So like when you go to pick out your spinning reel, for some reason bait casters are in 100 increments. Like you got 200 size, 300 size, and spinning reels are in 500 or 1,000. So the smaller number being like this is a 500 size reel. This is a 3,000 size reel. So there's a difference.
Yep.
And the cool thing about going with a smaller reel like this, like your 1000, is you can get really lightweight line on these. Like my 500, I only put 10-pound braid, which is ridiculously thin. 10 pounds sounds like a lot, but when you go to tie a knot with 10-pound braid,
Yeah.
it's like the hair off your head. It's so thin. It's like a 10-pound braid, and I'll do like an 8-pound floral leader on it. And you can get a killer cast, but the cool thing is you catch a 10-inch spotty on a lightweight setup like this, and it feels like you're catching a yellowtail, man, because it is a fight. It's not like when I catch one on this reel, my 3000, because I can just kind of jerk it and I'm just winding it in.
Yeah.
These little guys, man, it starts taking drag. You're fighting it. It's going out, coming back. I don't know. It gives it some level. Yeah, it gives it some level of excitement.
Yeah.
And that light line, that finesse fishing, is so much fun because when you can feel everything, and sometimes you can feel them pecking it, and then you get that huge hit. And the cool thing about spinning reels, if you have one, when it takes off, it makes this sweet clicking noise. And there's nothing more adrenaline than when that thing you hear. Woo! And if you're on a 500 size reel, it could be a 1-pound spotty, but it sounds like you've got like your world record 3-pound reel.
Yeah, just like spooled.
Yeah, so the 1000 for just the fun factor is what I like them for. It makes a small fish feel like a yellowtail. They're killer. Don't be afraid to take these out. Those are awesome.
Perfect. Cool. Okay.
Sorry to cut you off. So back to your 1000 setup.
No, that's good. That's pretty much my setup. You guys know I put out a video on that, so it's all good. So
what rod do you use?
The Feather 6.8 and 7.7.
Yep. I got that exact rod right over here.
Yeah, for the 700, for the 2500 series, and the 1000 series. Yeah, it's my nice little go-to combo.
Have you caught a big spotty on it yet?
Yeah, I've caught a couple of legals. I think I've caught a couple of legals on that 1000. It was like it was funny.
Yeah, full on bendo.
You can't gain on it. It's hilarious.
People in other boats are coming over because they hear the drag, and you pull in a 12-inch fish. But it lives killer on those things. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
cool.
So, lightweight setups, a lot of fun.
Okay, so do you want to go into bait casters, and then I'll add my 2 cents as we go.
Yeah, cool. So kind of stepped into bait casting early on these, but bait casting. So what I like is I like fishing these with my hard baits, like my crank baits, my jerk baits, anything. I need the hard baits because they're heavier. You can get a good cast out of them. You got a lot of control with this. You got a lot of backbone in the fishing. Or if I'm fishing my underspin 1/2 ounce or bigger. So if I'm going for sand bass and I'm trying to fish like a 3/4 ounce or a 1 ounce even, I'm definitely going for the bait caster. I love casting these. I love the way they feel. I love the way when you get a big fish that the pole just feels like it's set up more for a big fish. It's got all that backbone. All the strength is in the top of the pole, and it really has the power. If you catch a 20-inch sand bass and you're on this, you have the confidence to get that thing out of the rocks and grind that thing in with this type of pole, just because it has more backbone.
Yeah. So I would go ahead.
So yeah, the harder baits and heavier baits is what I like. I remember, guys, I'm talking bay fishing. So in the bay, that's what I'm talking about.
So what's the smallest weight you would throw on that setup right there? 1/2 ounce?
1/2 ounce. 1/2 ounce is about, I mean, if it's not windy, it's like at night and it's totally calm, 3/8. Cool. But if you start getting a 1/4 and 8, it's just not worth the headache, man.
Yeah.
I don't like dealing with the backlashes and all that when you get to that light stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna try to explain the backlash. Do you want me? Tell me when you're ready for me to explain the backlash.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. So, what happens with the bait casters? This is for Zach, right? So I'm gonna pretend I'm speaking directly to Zach. Okay. So the spool is right here. Okay. That thing is connected to your crank, to your handle, and then when you put it in free spool, you press this little button, and now it's in free spool. Okay. It'll just keep turning. Okay. So when you cast, you hold your rod. Hold on. There you go. Hold your rod. You put it in free spool, and you put your thumb on the spool so it doesn't come off, so it doesn't start spinning. And at this point, if you let go, your spool will start giving line, and your lure will fall down, right? So you hold on to that with your thumb. You cast, and at the end of your cast, or near the top of your cast, you take your thumb off slightly, and that'll kind of with the bend in the rod, it'll whip your lure out. Okay. If that initial whip, the initial launch of the bait starts to spin the spool to start giving you line at a certain speed. Okay. It's got like different settings for you to control at what speed it comes off the line, right? Those are the brakes. And we'll talk about that in a second too. Those are the brakes, but like for the most part, the brakes are kind of dumb. You have to put your thumb on there to make sure that you slow down the reel if your reel starts to go, if your spool starts to spin faster than your lure is flying through the air. You want to slow down with your thumb. Otherwise, you end up in a situation where your spool is releasing line faster than your lure is traveling through the air. Okay, and when that happens, then your spool starts to loop faster than the actual line coming off of it, and you get a big loop starting to form here, like in the air. And if it doesn't catch up with it, then it'll just eventually knot up. It'll hit something, and all the line kind of overlap under itself. It's kind of a mess. So there's a special way to like pick it out from the top so that it doesn't get. So you want to basically keep everything loose and pick it out. We'll talk about picking out a rat's nest, we call it, what a bird's nest, right? But anyway, that's how a backlash happens. Okay, so when Brian's saying his minimum is half an ounce, that's because he knows that with a half ounce lure, even if you cast it directly into the wind is not going to have as much effect on a half ounce lure to slow it down when it's traveling through the air. Okay, and that's what you don't want. You don't want the wind affecting that lure. Yeah, you could probably get away with casting a 1/4 ounce lure with the wind, right? And also just make sure you keep your thumb close to the spool. You're always gonna have your thumb next to the spool, even when it's kind of like technically free spooling, flying through the air with a heavy lure. I still like to feel the spool kind of on my thumb as it's letting line out. And if I feel like it's gonna hit something like a boat or anything, I give the brakes with my thumb. Anyway, I hope that kind of helps as far as explaining what a backlash actually is. Okay, so. You want to add to that, Brian?
No, that was an awesome explanation. I don't think I could do any better than that. But I saw in chat that some guys like Jet, he could throw a 1/4 ounce on 50-pound braid all day long. I mean, some guys are really good at it. They can get those 1/4 ounce out there. But what I'm saying is I can do that, but I would say once in every 20 or 25 casts, I'm constantly dealing with this. And I'm like fast at fishing. I fish, and I don't want to be dealing with the backlash. This is my favorite thing to cast. I love this thing.
Yep.
When you cast a nice cast with a bait caster, it feels awesome. There's so much control. I love the way the pole feels. I love everything about it, but I don't want to be dealing with the backlash.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
In windy conditions and lightweight stuff, I'm always going for my spinning or setup.
But we got some good information here from Jet too, saying too light of a braid on a bait caster will cut into itself on the spool.
Yes.
So that doesn't make it good. I've seen that. And then Baker Lounge says he won't do less than 30 pounds of braid, 30-pound braid. Also, I'm sorry. I'm also curious to ask Jet, what size bait caster are you using, Jet? Because since you're having good success with the 1/4 ounce weight, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't recommend anything less than 30 pound either. 30 pound, anything less than that just doesn't come off the reel quite right. 30 pound on that, I think, feels just right.
Cool.
50 pound for my A-rig or 65 pound, that really feels good. I don't use that because it's a little too heavy for anything but my A-rig. So, but yeah, when you're out fishing for calico with that 50 and you've got like a heavy, like 2 ounce jig head on there or something, that thing casts just perfect. I think that's the best feeling when you take that 300 or 400 size reel out there and you've got that iron or you've got something super heavy on there and you can cast that thing and it goes like a football field. It's out there.
So Jet says 100 and 200 size, 100 to 200 size reel. I like that 150 size for the bait. I like the 150 size. I have a 200 and I have that 300 for the A-rig. So yeah.
I got that exactly reel you're holding.
Oh, cool.
Is that the SLX? Yeah, I just have the lefty version. That's my freshwater reel.
8.2?
That's why I use the freshwater. Yep.
Is it 8.2? This is gonna take over.
The SLX. It's not the digital cast. It's the cheap one.
Yeah, me too. This is gonna take over my junk rod, and I'm gonna put that Corrado, the Corrado 200 on my crankbait rod. Since it's,
I mean, for $100, guys, this is a good reel for $100. Really I mean, for freshwater all day long on this guy. I like this SLX. Even for saltwater, it's not rated for it, but it's a good reel. I like the SLX.
I thought the SLX was rated for saltwater.
I think maybe, I don't know. The guy at the shop told me not. I can't find it on the box anywhere. Maybe it is. I don't know. I thought it was freshwater.
Yeah, it's rated for saltwater. It's one of the reasons why I wanted it.
Oh, well, then for $99,
it's totally
no brainer.
Yeah.
So the thing you gain, I think, in the tranks is a little. Well, I can look that up. I was going to tell you about this too, so I might as well check this out while I'm at it. So if you ever go to the shop and you're looking at reels, and maybe the shop guy doesn't know a lot about the reels, and you're asking him about gear ratios and drag and different things about the reel, you're trying to figure one out, and the guy doesn't, maybe he just doesn't know. Ask him to see the box, because if you look at these boxes, let me see if I can get close up there. Is my stream coming in clear?
It's getting better. I mean, it's better than it was earlier. That works.
So if you look on this box, it breaks down everything about this reel right here. In
you know what, Brian? I'm gonna get my box and I'm gonna hold it up to my camera while you talk. Give me a second. Keep going.
Okay. But the box, on all these boxes, when you go to pick one, they all have, doesn't matter which one you get, they all have like these little squares. Yeah, perfect, Roman, thanks. Well, you can see where it's at. So if you look on there, on the far right, it says gear. It looks like two sprockets, like gears, and that's your gear ratio. The one I'm holding is a 7:2:1. I can't see yours, Roman.
Yeah, it's 8:2:1.
So that's the gear ratio on this reel. You go right next to it, and that's the strength of the drag. That is, I think it says 11 pounds.
Yep, 11 pounds.
So that is your maximum strength of the drag on that. And then go right next to that, that's the weight of how actually much the weight of the actual reel, how much the reel weighs.
Oh,
and
cool.
Next to that, bearings. So it's got 3 + 1 bearings, three bearings in the reel and 1 in the handle, I think that means.
Okay.
And then right next to that shows you the inch per crank. So one 360-degree rotation on that. I think it says 30 inches maybe.
Yeah, 32 inches on this one. Yep.
32 inches. So there's your specs right there, right on the box. So if you're buying one and you want to know exactly what this reel is doing, it's right there. And right underneath that, there's one more thing, Roman. It'll show you, see where it says Power Pro or Mono? That shows you how much line that reel will hold for that weight. So the one I'm holding, I can't read that, but the one I'm holding says 50-pound braid, 120 yards. So when you're selecting a reel, don't be afraid to ask for the box, and then ask for like 2 or 3 boxes. And then you can just hold it up and you can just see real quick, they made it super simple, what this reel is capable of doing. And when you want to compare like an SLX and a Trank, that's when you could see, hey, what's the difference between these two? Oh, this one's got 2 more bearings. Its drag is, is 4 pounds heavier. Then the differences between those two. And that breaks it down a lot right there.
That's cool.
And then, or if you're comparing it to like a different size reel, like the 200 versus the 300, you can also compare the specs right back there. Yeah, how much line, what kind of fishing you're going to be doing. So ask for the box.
Super good.
They got them. They usually just keep you in the back.
Yeah.
They're not too cranky to go grab them. They'll grab them for you.
Yeah, if they're not willing to do that, then go to a different shop or ask somebody else. DC reels are not allowed on Discord comms, says Jet. That's funny. Let's see. Zach's got another question. Care and maintenance. What if anything do you do to clean and maintain your reels?
So I don't know if we've talked about this on the show, but I know we've talked about it in Discord a million times. It seems like it's like not a heated argument, but everybody seems to do something different. Me personally, I after every time I just wipe it down, clean it out. Maybe after every 2 or 3 times, the spool on like a bait caster, this plate will actually remove and you can pull the spool out. And I'll get in there and I'll clean that area. Maybe put a little bit of oil in there, clean it up with a nice clean cloth, get in there with a cloth and a stick and kind of get all the salt out. Maybe a light mist of a spray just to kind of get it. But I don't like take it in the shower with me. I don't dunk it in water and crank it. Yeah. Some people do that. I don't do that with it. I'm just basically lightly cleaning the surface and sometimes taking the spool out and cleaning that. Same thing with the spinning rod. I'll take the spool out, kind of clean it all around. You can get this reel oil and it's just little droplets and you can put it in spots where there's bushings
Yeah.
or where there's some kind of friction that might be happening, just a little drop here and there for maintenance. If I get a reel that's like super grindy, like I know there's something going on, it's 2 years old, I've never done anything to it. Most of the time, you can just replace a few bearings. It's like a bearing that's gone bad.
Yeah.
And bearings, sometimes for like my tranks, I replaced the bearing with $6.
Oh, nice.
So I'm not going to go into how to do it, but you basically pop the old bearing out and pop a new one in, and bingo, it's the grind's gone. And if you get to the point where you're not comfortable servicing your reel, usually for about $25, you can take it somewhere every couple of years, and a guy will go through it, clean it out, put new bearings in it if it's needed. So if you're not comfortable taking it apart, there's a lot of YouTube videos on how to clean your reels and service them. But if you're not comfortable, just take it to a shop. $25 usually. Yeah. And usually when you get it back, it feels like brand new. It feels like a brand new reel.
That's awesome. Ryan Hyder says, but does it hook up to Bluetooth?
Not yet. That's a good question. I know they have the electric reels that for the guys that are like fishing deep waters, where you just hit a button.
That's true.
It brings them up off the bottom and just.
John says, look for CRBB for saltwater. What is that? What's CRBB, guys? CRBB for saltwater.
Ask them what those initials stand for. I don't.
Yeah, we'll see. And then he also says max sealed is the gold standard. So my Daiwa spinning reels are max sealed.
Yeah, I love Daiwa reels too. Obviously I love Shimano's. I'm fishing tons of those, but I also have a Daiwa Alexa. That's my A-rig reel. I love that reel. I would say
CRBB is corrosion resistant ball bearing. Thanks to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard Salty maybe talk about that before too. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
My Lexa, I think the Lexa and the Tranks are like neck and neck. They're both awesome. Both good luck with both. I've had them about the same amount of time, and the Lexa's been awesome. So I kind of give some love to Daiwa. I can't give all my love to Shimano. So yeah, this is my Lexa. It's my A-rig setup. I think when I did A-rig a couple weeks ago, I went over that.
That's cool.
300 size reel. Got a aftermarket sweet handle on it. But that's my A-rig reel.
That's cool. All right, cool. Yeah, we got the corrosion. Okay, cool. Trivia, awesome. Cool. All right, so we're nearing the end of the show, guys. If you guys have any other questions, please put them in the chat. Tranks or Tatula or Tatula for bigger swim baits. Says bigger range fishing.
I was going to talk about sizes too. So, like a bait caster, 1,000 size, or I'm sorry, 100 size, 200 size, pretty common for the bay. That's pretty much the go-to for spotties. I like the 200 just because I don't know if I have a little bigger hand, but it just feels better in my hand, the 200 than the 100. The 100 feels a little bit smaller to me. I would say either of those sizes are perfect for the bay. If the 100 feels comfortable, go with that. If the 200 feels comfortable, go with that. Whatever feels comfortable in your hand. As far as line, you're not going to run out of line on either one because the bay is, I mean, the biggest, deepest part of the bay is 40 feet deep. So I wouldn't worry about line. I wouldn't worry about drag because we're catching spotties. Go with what feels comfortable. Probably the same price. So when you get there, put it on a rod in the shop, try it on, see what feels comfortable. I like a 200 size.
Sweet.
As far as spinning size setups, I think we talked about that. If you're going to get one size, I probably like 2,500 or 3,000. I guess if you're going to get one.
Yeah.
That's like a pretty universal size. That'll throw a 1/2 inch. That'll throw a 3/4 inch pretty good.
Yep.
Holds plenty of line. Probably 30-pound braid on that size. So that if you're going to go with one size spinning, I would say one of those two, 2,500 or 3,000. Now, if you want to do with me,
with what size line, Brian?
30-pound.
Cool.
I would say on the 3,000, 30-pound. Maybe on 2,500, 20 or 25 pound. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay. Either of those are fine. And then if you want to get fancy and try to feel like you're catching yellowtail in the bay, go for the 500 with a lightweight rod. Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah. Or the 1,000 size.
I like the 1,000 size. That's good. Yeah, it feels like you're so bit with a little like 10-inch spotty. It's like killer drag and you can barely gain on it. You're like,
it's amazing how those little guys can fight, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's more sporty.
Yo, every time I get it, I'm like, oh, it's a good one.
Yeah.
And I'm getting it in, I get it out of the water. I'm like, oh, it's a 9-inch fish. It felt like a 2-pounder. You think after like doing this for so long, I would know, but they all feel good for some reason. I don't know why.
Funny. So funny. Cool. Okay, so I don't see any more. I don't see any new questions come in. Guys, we're good with that. We're good with the questions. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk a little bit more about these things if you want. I didn't go into gear ratios, so.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that, guys. We're gonna go into bonus time with Brian,
Yep.
and let me tell you guys why, real quick. So I'm gonna jump over to my full screen real quick. Full screen. It is okay. So, doing this show every single weekday is getting a little bit taxing on my family life and on my just regular life. So, I'm thinking about reducing the amount of days we do during the week, but still kind of like doing longer episodes on the days we do episodes. So here's gonna be the new schedule, and just real quick, I'll update the website tonight so you guys can go there if you need to. But we're still gonna do fishing reports and call-ins and have questions on Mondays. Okay, I'm gonna continue to live stream on Twitch on Tuesdays. That's the link for it right here, romancastro.com/Twitch. And then I'm going to continue to do, or we're going to continue to do bait fishing with Brian on Wednesdays. So we still have 3 days, but I'm going to take the interviews on Thursday offline. If we, frankly, guys, it's a little bit stressful to try to figure out a guest every week, and I'm getting to the point where it's kind of like it's just getting a little stressful to find a guest and prep the guest and get him queued up for the show and basically sometimes train people to get on Skype and stuff. So I'm totally open to still doing interviews when interview opportunities pop up. So we would have like basically it'd be like a bonus day, like on Thursday, and I would let you guys know ahead of time. Hey guys, we got an interview next week or in a couple of weeks when somebody can actually do it. It just becomes kind of a headache to plan it out and actually have it work with a guest, because a guest would have to be available at 7 p.m. Pacific. So it's not like with my podcast when I could record an interview like in the middle of the night with somebody like in a different country and just play it whenever it gets released. All right, so it changes things. But anyway, so that means that this Thursday, I'm gonna take the day off. I might actually fish again. I might actually fish on Twitch on Thursday. But the real goal for me to take start getting some of this time back is so that I can make more specific content on Roman Castro vlogs. So it's gonna be more. You're still gonna get content out of me, but it's gonna be better produced because I won't be doing this show as often. So basically, Fish Hour is gonna be Monday fishing reports, Tuesday live streaming from the kayak, Wednesday it's gonna be this show. It's gonna continue to happen, and then Thursday and Friday, I'm going to take it off. That means no more trivia night and no more dedicated interview days. Okay. So that's what's up. And again, it's for the sake of me having more time to both make edited content for the channel and also just have a little bit more time with the family too. So it's I think the original premise of doing it every single day or every weekday was that we're all stuck at home and we couldn't leave with the COVID. But now we have other options to be out and about. So I think you guys also would like some of your time back. For guys like Doug, you can still pretend to be watching us Monday through Friday. Just watch one of the reruns. all the episodes will continue to be up. The Fishy Hour channel will not go away. It's always going to be up. It's still there. And I'm going to continue to go through the process of actually cataloging everything that happened in each episode. And then when you go to fishhour.com, you can search for a specific thing you want to learn about. Like today, if you wanted to come back and find the episode where we talked about the difference between a spinning rod and a bait caster, you can do difference between bait caster and spinning rod in the search. And that'll be something that's a topic in this video. And then the website will tell you which video to watch to get the same discussion. So it becomes like I think in the span of like these 3 months, we've created a pretty cool resource that will be searchable for anybody that's new to fishing here in San Diego. So it's a cool little asset that we built together. But that said, we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna get Brian back in here and keep the show rolling. And of course, guys, if you guys, we're still gonna do outings on Saturday with MMFC, so that's not gonna go either. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna keep at it. I just want to refocus I just want to re-channel some of that work in the right, in a different, to the regular channel. Okay, but we'll still be here. Okay, so glad we talked. Good talk. We're back with Brian. Let's go. Let's see. All right, Brian, we're back. Thanks.
Man, is this like the breakup? It's not you, it's me kind of thing. It sounds like.
No, it's not. It's not even a breakup.
5 days a week's got to be tough. I know just for Wednesday, it's tough a lot of prep. There's a lot of work. This guy works hard. I'm super happy you're still doing 3 days a week. That's awesome, Roman.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. Thanks for doing this for us.
Thanks, Brian.
We all made this cool community. I've met a ton of cool fishermen. You know, we've had a great time, and thanks for everything that you've done since, I guess, the beginning of COVID. I mean, you must be on the 100th show by now, right?
I think we blew past it. I think we might be like 110, 105 or something like that. So it's pretty cool. So that's exciting.
You deserve the break.
Yeah, it's exciting. So like I was saying earlier, it's gonna give me like 2 days. Well, because let me tell you guys real quick what my schedule is like. So I get off of work like at 5 or 6. If something doesn't happen where it's like, oh, we need to do extra work or like extend, right? And then I'm rushing to prep for the show, and then sometimes I'll be working on something right up until the last minute. Sometimes even into the first or second minute, right? That's why I'm late sometimes. But so it gets a little bit stressful. But I mean, it's totally worth it. It's just that schedule, and then after that, we'll hang out on Discord, which I don't mind. But then pretty much I'm spent for the day, and I don't have the, I guess, the energy to start from scratch to write out an episode of my regular video channel, and then actually film it and then edit that. So what I've been doing is I've been kind of editing videos that I've shot before I started doing Fishy Hour, and recording the intros and the outros, kind of making a video out of that, like the stuff with the diving stuff, like all that stuff. It's fun, it's cool, it works because you're learning something about the underwater structure of this, of like the bay and stuff. But I want to make stuff that's specifically more kayak fishing helpful, right? So that requires me to be available like right after work to like haul butt to the dock or to the water basically, and shoot a video out there when there's daylight, and with good audio, get some good B-roll, make a really nice video for you guys about teaching something, right? So basically, this is like the live streams are going to serve as a place for us to have like a Q&A. Like it's definitely, you can talk about the last video I put out or whatever questions you have as you're going through the learning process. And then there's going to be the core videos, which are going to be like basically like the lesson videos, right? Like, all right, new to kayak fishing, here's what you need. I know Zach kind of experienced that a little bit with some of the existing content, but I want to make that like to another level, to where like when Zach, well, we'll say new Zach, when he just started, finds that first video, like, oh, how to kayak fish San Diego Bay. And then next thing you know, he finds my next video, how to load up your kayak. Oh, how to launch your kayak so it doesn't get scratched. Oh, how to land your fish. Oh, how to lip a fish. All the stuff that you're going to ask yourself as a beginner, I want to have a video for that. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. Anyway, let's get back to it.
That's great. I think probably the content that you're going to put out is going to be awesome anyway, because you have more time to do more content on your channel.
Nice.
So we'll look forward to those. But all right, so I guess we're going to a little longer format. So did you say we're going to 1.5 hours now?
Yeah, we'll go 1.5 hours as long as you're okay with that. And then
dude, fishing. I could talk about it. I could say we could talk.
I know. We're talking for like 20 minutes before like the show, just because like we were just talking about fishing. We're like, oh, we should talk about that during the show.
Yeah, let's try a marathon with the chat and with us, and just go until we're basically laying down. Anyway, tonight we're not going to do that. But okay, so back to the spinning setup. Something I skipped that I didn't talk about that I was thinking of is the way that the line sits on the rod. So going back to this, how it has the big guides versus the smaller guides on the baitcaster. The way the line sits when it's sitting down low and it's on a spinning rod, when you pull this line, you probably can't see this, but the line basically lays down on the guides. Like it is sitting on the guides. So when I pull this, it's the line is actually touching all the guides all the way back to the reel, right? Mm-hmm. And that gives it much more sensitivity. So when I pull up on this, I can feel all the way down to this point right here exactly what the rod feels like. Versus on my baitcaster, when you have the guides up here on top, and this line is like an arrow. It goes right through the middle of the guides. So when you pull this down, the only guides it's touching, the line, is actually like these first three.
Yeah.
So it doesn't quite have the sensitivity you do with the spinning one. Just because you can feel all those guides when you pull up, you'll feel every little bounce, every little bit of that bottom. So when you're finesse fishing with lightweight stuff, when you're trying to feel the bottom, when you're in freshwater and you're feeling a log or you're feeling a rock, you really get sensitive with that setup. Just because of the tip and because it's touching all those guides. It's like an extension of your finger. Think of it that way. You know, instead of just feeling the tip, like on the bait caster, you're feeling all the way down your finger of everything that's on that bottom. I know it sounds weird. Probably like, what the heck's he talking about, touching the bottom? But once you fish spotties for a long time, when I cast it out and I'm reeling it in, I'll know if it's in grass. I'll know if it's in sand. I'll know if it's flat. I'll know if there's a drop off. You just start. The only way you're going to learn this is time on the water, and you'll just start to feel that stuff.
I like it. So let's I like that idea. So have you ever fished it with your eyes closed?
With the blast shield down? Is that what you mean?
No, with your eyes closed.
Well, that was my Star Wars quote.
Oh. Sorry, I was like, no, with your eyes closed.
So I do use the force. You see my interview?
So funny. I mean, you have like the socks, like the psychic feet thing, but like for us regular folks.
I don't have a Star Wars helmet, but I should get one, and I can lower the blast shield and see if I can still feel the bottom. Yes.
I think it helps. Honestly, I think. Really? I mean, don't be out there boating with your eyes closed, I guess, but like, just try it for one or two casts. Like cast with your eyes open.
Well, at night,
once you feel like your lure's on the bottom, start reeling it in, and it like there's one less input into your brain, and so it needs more information. So it's going to focus on that bite. I think it's going to focus on that sensitivity, and then you'll start to get that feeling like Brian's talking about, like where you feel like, okay, yeah, that was a bump. Okay, that was grass because it was like a little bit of a snag, but it released gradually. That's because that's the hook tearing through the grass leaf. Okay, that's grass. Or like you'll have like a nice solid clunk that's like a rock, right?
Yep,
that's a bare rock, a structure. Yeah.
You'll feel it snag up and then all of a sudden break off and fall down.
Yep.
Then you know you hit something. Like it'll be reeling,
went over
and then it comes to pressure.
Yeah.
And then you just give it a little bounce, or you slow it down, or you just drag it through it. You know you've just hit something.
Yeah, exactly.
And grass, which just feels like a kind of a steady pull, or it'll pull it and break loose real quick.
Yep.
You'll start to feel, and there's different types of grass.
Yeah.
You'll feel dead grass. That feels
funky. You can snag a leaf, you can snag a blade of grass, or you can snag like one of the main parts of the grass. And that's when you're like, oh, am I stuck on something hard? And you're like, all right, I'm just going to give it a good tug. And you feel it come out of the ground, like it's the roots coming out of the sand. Yeah. And it's like, okay, that's grass. But anyway, that's cool.
Sometimes you're in that grass and you cast it out and it's too thick. You're not going to get through it. I mean, unless you're burning it in, which you're probably not going to catch a fish doing that. You just got to move that area because your grass is just too thick. Sometimes it's just too much. Or it's like that really thick, dense grass, where you're just pulling it up off the bottom and you're ripping it out. So that kind of grass is bad grass. You want to find that not dead, not too thick, but just right. Yeah. And you'll know if you feel it. And I'll know when I'm in an area, if I'm casting and I just start wheeling it in, I know if it's going to be fishy there. I can just tell right in the first 3 casts if it's any good. If it's just desert, you're just feeling nothing. I mean, you might get a fish there. Spotties are everywhere, but the better spots, the better feelings. And with the spinning lightweight setups, it's so much more sensitive with that type of fishing. The finesse fishing is what I call it.
Awesome. Cool. I just went to full screen for a second and I think I did it too soon.
I'm so glad I got a Star Wars reference in.
Exactly right.
Every week.
You need to work out a Star Wars reference every week. That's
there you go.
That's
so use the force while fishing is what we're saying.
Right. So guys, on Sunday, we're out there super snorkeling. I'm gonna call it super snorkeling. Yeah. And Brian cruised by with his boat. It was awesome, and he caught a fish right where we were diving, and cause I spooked a bunch of fish earlier too. I was like, there's a ton of fish here, just fish. So he starts fishing, and sure enough, he catches a spotty. So I go over there with my GoPro. We got some really good shots of you, Brian. So I'm I'm in the water and I got like a nice shot of him sitting in the back of his boat. And then when I saw he caught a spotty, I went over there again, and I got some underwater footage of the spotty swimming around. Then we pulled it out of the water. Pretty cool.
Yeah, so Roman was underwater while I was reeling in the fish. So he got the actual retrieve of it and then up to the surface kind of view. That was awesome. I can't wait to see it.
That's gonna be a good little video. So we'll get that done soon.
I still want to bring away a day where when COVID's over and we can get on the boat and you can dive in and spot it, and maybe we can get some live like action fishing. I think it'd be so cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm down with that. I'll bring like the dome housing so we could do the over-under shot.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Zach said, before you close your eyes to fish, make sure there's no jet skis coming at you.
Do you really want to know that? That discussion on the water on Saturday about skis.
Yeah, I know.
Groupon jet skiers.
So yesterday, the lifeguards were like super strict. They were on it. I saw like maybe 4 jet skiers get pulled over. So and
it's
the
a
boat.
full-time job, man. It's a full-time job getting those guys to slow down in a 5-mile-an-hour zone.
Yeah, it's crazy. Cool.
I have a weird story on was it Sunday? On Sunday on my way home, I was on the freeway.
Oh yeah.
And on Highway 8, just kind of passing Qualcomm Stadium, and a fishing game pulled up behind me, flashed their lights, so I pulled off an exit, and they pulled me over on the freeway, which is so weird. I've never even heard of this, to check my boat for fish. So I don't know if they're out and about doing that. I mean, I guess that's a way, but it seemed kind of weird to be pulled over by a fishing game on the freeway to be checked for fish.
Yeah, I've never heard of that happening.
Yeah, but I didn't have any fish because I'm fish and release everything pretty much. So, but I don't know. That was weird. So
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. Maybe that's a new thing they're doing. But
yeah, no, I've never heard of that.
Guys, it's not worth a ticket to try to sneak away. You know, you never know when you're going to get checked. So make sure you fish by all the regulations.
Exactly. Sweet. All right, guys. So they weren't really fishing game. They were rental cop suits.
No, the guy was actually cool. I was totally happy to even, I got to talk to him for a little bit. He was a cool guy. He was nice to me. He was just doing his job, So I'm fine with it. I'm fine with being pulled over. I'm not breaking any rules.
Interesting. Cool. All right. So I don't see any new questions pop up, guys. I'm sorry if I shocked you with the news. I apologize. But so tomorrow I'll be, there we go. Fishing police on the freeway, says Jet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dario says, I've had them pull me over on Rosecrans before. With your kayak, dude? Or with your boat? Oh, okay. Because Dario used to have a boat.
Those guys are actually cool because they're out there to protect our resource. I love fishing game. I'd love it if I could do a ride along with them. But they're out there, guys, to protect our resource. So think of them as like that. Don't think of them as like the bad guys or anything like that. They're out to get you. They're not. They're out there to make sure that people are fishing by the rules and they're protecting our resource.
Yeah, as long as you're fishing by the rules, so you shouldn't have anything. You shouldn't fear anything. You shouldn't have any fear. Yeah. I think on the live stream last night, there was like a siren going off, and it was because those boats are like getting pulled over, and somebody in the stream was like, "They're coming to get you," and I was like, "Oh, my conscience is clear. I'm good. I know they're not coming after me."
That's the way to do it.
Dan says, "I got checked after CCA on the bay before I left the parking lot." Oh, that's right.
Well, there's usually a person out there. They're not out there to check on you so much. There's usually somebody with a clipboard there, and they're just tracking the fish. What'd you catch?
Yeah.
How many did you keep? Blah blah blah. I've never seen
a different guy, right?
Really search a boat or anything like that there, but I think they're doing it for some statistics. Maybe that's their science project. But they've been doing that for years. Because when you go up, how many times a year do you fish? What'd you catch today? Where'd you fish?
Yeah.
Just some basic questions, and they're usually really cool.
The survey guys, right?
And that when they go up to you, that's a great time to probe them for questions. If you are not sure about one of your setups or you're not sure about regulations, they're there. You might as well ask them while they're asking you questions. Ask right back.
Yeah, because they probably have a good scoop. They probably have been interviewing people coming in the whole day. So
Yeah, I always ask. I say, "How's everybody doing?" I'm always nosy that way. I want to know what's going on around here.
So Bo said that's how they set regulations and size limits. Interesting.
Yep.
Coach Worf says clipboard people are the devil.
Where people are the what?
The devil.
The devil. Well, you don't have to tell them the truth, Coach. You can tell them, I guess, whatever you want. You're not on a lie detector, but true. It's for science, I think.
They're like, how many fish did you catch? You're like, I do what I want.
0. Get out of
here. That's funny. That's so funny. All right, guys. Any other questions? Let's get them going. Otherwise, let's start to close this baby out.
Yeah, and guys, too, if you guys want me and Roman on Wednesdays to hit a specific target, or a specific subject, put it in chat, put it in Discord. Say, hey, I want to hear about this, or hey, can you guys talk about this, or just let us know what you want to hear. Recently, me and Roman have kind of just been coming up with these subjects on our own, but I'd love the feedback of what you guys want to know about bait fishing. Between the two of us, we could try to answer a lot of questions. So.
Exactly.
So let us know what subjects you want to talk about. I know Cal's probably like hard baits.
Yeah.
Hard baits.
That's true.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. And I mean, we're all on Discord. We're all on Instagram. Any way you can reach out to us, you can hit us up directly on Discord actually, and we'll take that into consideration for sure. And because we're basically here to help you guys. In any way we can, when it comes to fishing and stuff. So, if you have a question, don't hold on to it. Don't think that it's maybe not a question worth asking. Ask the question because it's very likely that someone else has the same question and they're also not willing to ask it. So you might be helping somebody else.
It doesn't have to be like a super cool question. You can ask anything. It does, anything about the bays, bay fishing. We're fine with that. So even if it's something that's not on the subject we're talking about right now. If it's just a bay-related or fishing-related question, if me and Roman can't answer it, probably somebody in chat will. Mm-hmm. In Discord, man, guys, if you guys haven't tried that out yet, it's like the after show. And the amount of information, me and Roman give information, but there's guys like Coach and Dan that do a whole different type of fishing that we don't do. And they've got a whole different set of information. So
I know Coach
that don't relate with us. Yep. It seems like every time a question is answered on Discord or asked on Discord, there's somebody on there that usually has a pretty good answer.
Yeah.
So.
And then Coach Worf TV, I think it would be great if you could, if you have time on Monday, if we did the charts you showed us on Discord the other day. That'd be fantastic. That'd be a cool way to start it off.
I love hearing Coach's updates and Scotty's. It's such good information because I like to give out the bay information. You give out a lot of bay information, but the offshore stuff or the inshore kind of fishing, that's not really my thing. So those guys really hit that subject. It's great to get that information in.
That's right. The off-target species bite, says Coach.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. All right, so I think that's going to be it for tonight's show, guys. Brian, thank you so much for taking the time to, first of all, set up that mic. I know you're working on it and get everything going.
It's right here, guys. Let me show you how close it is to my face. It's that close. So hopefully my audio is going to be... Oh, and I want to show you guys something too. Check this out.
Go for it. Let me put you full screen.
I added the light, Dan. I think Dan told me to add that light.
Yeah.
Did it make a difference? I know my stupid internet's cruddy out, but I added the light. So every week, me and Roman are kind of tweaking a little bit here and there. You guys could only know what we do before the show.
Slow and I mean, like you're iterating. You're changing something a little bit at a time for every stream, and we're gonna look back in like a couple more weeks, and you'll be like, "Wow, dude, we're just streaming from your laptop before with a built-in camera. Now you have the extra camera."
The main thing I want to get upgraded though is my internet. I got to figure out. I hate you guys are watching this grainy. Hopefully the audio is good at least, but this grainy. I know it's so frustrating to watch that grainy feed, especially if you're watching on your TV. It probably looks terrible.
That's funny. Now we'll figure it out. I think
we'll figure it out, guys. I'm sorry about the grainy feed again. We'll figure it out.
I bet somebody's watching something.
Guys, what I did is I went in there and I unplugged all my hard lines except for this one. So
That's so funny.
I don't know if I can. I'm gonna have to change the password.
Oh my gosh! You're like you're banned. You're banned. You're banned. That's good.
And everybody.
All right, guys. Thanks again, Brian. Whoa! You just like sped up through the whole thing, and the stream caught up with you. You're back. There you go. We heard everything you were saying, but the video was like glitching. But now you're back. Cool.
Sorry, guys.
All right, guys. I'm gonna kick off the music. You can keep talking, Brian. That's good. I see. Leonard says thanks.
I don't hear the music, but I'll pretend I'm listening to it. Oh, check out who came by. It's
Nice.
Dink.
Oh, there you go. So
Get out of here, Dink.
Zach says thanks, gents. Leonard says thanks, Roman and Brian. Great episode, guys. Captain Dan says video 101 graduate. There you go.
Did the show at a 95 degrees too.
Jeez. So
I'm losing weight here.
Thanks, Tony, for taking the time to mod the episode. Awesome. Worf TV, Coach Worf in the house. Hyder, thanks for jumping in here, and thanks for fishing with me yesterday. That was super fun, dude. Good times. After the stream yesterday, guys, we were listening to like metal and like just like what I call 90s action movie inspirational music.
Nice. Last action
was
hero
pretty fun.
stuff.
Yeah, last action hero stuff. Catching Spotties was pretty fun. Let's see. Bo, Jet, Dario. Let's see who else is in here. Roy. Roy says, thanks, Robin. I'm going to stop now before I start to cry. Don't cry, Roy. We're still going to be here. We're still going to fish together. It's all good.
It's not you, Roy. It's him.
Yeah, it's not you, Roy. It's me. Baker Lounge, what up? Thanks for coming in here and hanging out with us. I know this isn't like your specific topic of fishing, but I'm glad to have you in here. You're sharing some expertise and give us a new perspective because I think a lot of us would like to try freshwater fishing too. So
Yeah.
if you're ever down here, Baker Lounge, even if you don't have a kayak, I have a Kraken 13.5 I can let you borrow. So if you're ever down here, let's go fish. We'll go fish with the Go group. And we all stay on our own kayak, so it's COVID safe. So we'd love to have you fish with us.
And if you've never caught a spotty, dude, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who else is in here? Okay, if I didn't shout you out, you didn't chat enough. All right. Nightbot in the house. All right. Good night, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
guys. So wait, here it comes. Get out there and snag some grass and catch some bass.
Woo! All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
All right, cool. There it is. Let it stream all the way through.